New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Artist Spotlight Podcast. I am Origin Cross.
And I'm Wilko Wilkes. And today we are interviewing yet another fantastic guest from the New Artist Spotlight community. I've been a big fan of this band's music. A lot of people might think that this is a guy called Mal Fantome, but it's not. It is actually Charles from Mal Fantome. Welcome to the show, mate. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm doing very well. And you're actually totally right. Malphantom is a band of four, and I'm the singer and one of the songwriters of the band.
Good to meet you, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been burnt by that before because I thought you were Mal, and you explained it to me. Do you want to explain a little bit about the band and the name to anyone who doesn't know?
Absolutely. Malphantom is a term in French. French is my first language, by the way. So I may say some things that may sound like awkward during that podcast. So I'm sorry if that's the case. So let's go back to the name. The name is Malphantom, which has a translation in English, but we felt that the translation was not really accurate to what we wanted it to describe. So the translation in English is phantom limb, which means basically that you still feel pain. If I cut, let's say, your hand, you still feel pain within your fingers or something like that. In French, Malphantom has something much more close to the feeling of it talks about the feeling of missing something or something. And we thought that it was a more poetic way of using the term. So we kept it in French, and just to keep a little mystery around it as well.
So I guess a question about that, when you're looking for a way to describe it, is it referring more to like a numbness of that limb, or is it?
Oh, it's really something that aches. Let's say that you really, what people refer to as Malphantom is usually really feeling a true pain on a lost limb. We thought the idea was good because we could extrapolate and think about losing something or someone that you really, really, really miss. And we thought that the idea of aching for something that you're missing was a good name, so that's why we kept the name.
Nice. So doing a little research, correct me if I'm wrong here. You guys were formed officially around 2010, but didn't put out like your first project until it was like 2018.
Actually, we recorded an EP in 2000. 9 or 10. Sorry, I may be wrong on this, but I think it's 2010. It was a four-song EP. The name of the band at the time was called 21 Grams, but after we released the album, the EP, we saw that there was a lot of bands and lots of artists who called themselves 21 Grams. The name had nothing to do with drugs or anything like that. It was much more. It has much more to do with the weight of the soul, which there's a doctor called McDougall who, and we did a song about it as well. Who talks about the weight of the soul, and the weight of the soul attributing to him would be 21 grams, and of course it's not the case, but that's where the idea was from. So we did this EP in 2010. The drummer at the time left. He was in a band called Handful of Snowdrops that were pretty big here in Quebec, and we formed that band, and Jack and I decided to go on, and we wanted to change the name. We got a DJ to substitute for the drummer, and wanted to do something quite different. The first album was recorded in 2014, but the DJ in question, which was a great guy, wasn't sure if he wanted to continue with us. He had other plans, a baby and a whole bunch of stuff. So we decided to hold on to the record until he would decide what to do. And finally, we released it in 2018. And from that time, we kept on releasing new songs quite regularly. We tried to do it basically every 2-3 months, but that's what we've been doing. And we have a second album called Volcano, released in 2001. Did really well, close to 1 million streams. And we just have a brand new EP of 4 songs called Hot, which will be part of a third album called Love Hotel that we're preparing for early 2024.
It's brilliant, man. I've been listening to Hot. It's classmate, and my wife liked it too. We listened to it. I listened to it earlier this week. I listened to it, and
Thank you.
I listened to it again today on the way to see my mother-in-law, because I loved it, mate. It's really, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first track with all the trumpets. Oh no, is it saxophone or is it a trumpet?
No, it's a trumpet. It's a trumpet.
Right, okay,
The guy. The name of the guy is Charles. He's a famous trumpeter from Montreal. Played with basically everyone on the Montreal music scene, from jazz music to pop music, mainly French artists. So it's a first, I think, one of the first for him to play with an English band, or band who sings in English. So for us, for the third album, we wanted to do something really different, and the idea was to bring people that we really like as musicians. So we invited Charles, and luckily enough for us, he said yes. One of the good catch we had, I don't know if you listened to the song Higher, but we have a guy named Roger Joseph Manning Jr. who plays with Beck, who played with Jellyfish. Jellyfish was one of my favorite band in the 90s. And he played with Air, a whole bunch of bands, and we asked him to play on Higher. He said yes. Actually, to our surprise, we sent in the basic tracks, and he sent in something like 31 tracks and said, guys, have fun, listen to this, take what you want. And by the way, if you have other songs, I'll be pleased to play on them. So to us, it was like, the biggest gift we could ever ask for. I mean, it's to have, guys like that playing on our songs. And we decided, honestly, we were truly humbled by it. We put a lot of efforts to create good, songs that we like and we don't get tired to play and listen to. But having the chance of having guys like that playing on our music, it's, to me, it's the biggest gift I could have ever wished for, really.
And so I know on your Instagram, I think, or even in your Spotify bio, Beck is listed as one of your musical influences. But one thing I do want to hit real quick. So who introduced us to the members, to everybody that makes up Mal Fantome?
Absolutely. So there's me, of course. I sing, play the guitar. I write songs with Jack. Jack is the bassist of the band. He's a huge fan of New Order, Joy Division. We actually call him Jack Division. He's a huge Peter Hook fan. And he's probably my best buddy that I've been writing songs with for the last 14 years now. Ike Barcelou is the drummer. He's a friend, a longtime friend. I used to play with him in bands in Quebec when we opened for major acts when I was much younger. I don't think he played on the band that when we opened for Chris Isaac and bands like that. But he was there most of the time. And finally, there's a fourth member, second guitarist. His name is Marc Rivet. Marc is a great guy. He's the one who's responsible for all the videos that we make. We make a video for every single that we release. We've been releasing since 2019. So there's a whole bunch of videos. I think we have 25 videos so far. And that's basically it. We're the 4 members of Mal Fantome.
That's brilliant, man. And nice for them to get their shout outs. Now, one thing about your music, I think it's the production's absolutely brilliant. Like, I first came across it actually because Mr. Odzo DM'd me saying how good your bass sounded. I think it was like bass guitar. It was like, yeah, it doesn't matter why he messaged me anyway, but
Yes.
and then that's when I first listened to the album, and so a lot of it just went straight in my library. I just thought it's brilliant, like really enjoyed it. So tell us a bit about your production, like who does it? Do you record in a studio or?
Yeah, we the way we work is quite. I mean, I don't know many artists who do things the way we do. Jack and I used to, we still do. We meet with each other every week, and we come up with 4 or 5 song ideas. When I say 4 or 5 song ideas, is basically we have at least 2 or 3 parts for every song ideas that we bring together. And we've been doing this for about 13, 14 years. So we have a lot of material which are basically rough demos and song ideas. And we basically write the other way around. Once we produce a lot of these demos, we exchange and say, okay, we pinpoint a song or a few ideas that we like. And normally what I do is I would focus on them and I build a melody on that. And English being my second language, I'm super cautious about having something. I try to be intelligent or, to make sense and not have too stupid lyrics. So I pay a lot of attention to have songs that talk about subjects that are quite universal. And so after that, I come up with a demo to the band and present it to them and say, okay, with the ideas that Jack and I came together, here's a direction I'd like to go. And from there, we basically record all the drums in a studio. That's what cost us the most. So we always pay for a good studio to make sure that we have good quality for the drums, because we really like the idea of having live drums. But after that, what we do is we re-record everything, all the bass guitars in a studio, but in a much more of a home studio. We record with Logic and the other thing from the studio guy, Mathieu.
Pro Tools. Oh, Pro Tools. Yeah. Okay. Industry standard. That's the one we forgot.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. So we finished the recordings with Pro Tools in a studio. It cost us more money, and I'm well aware of that than most of the bands. But to us, having that sound quality is super important, even if we're not professional musicians. I mean, we all have day jobs. We love what we do, but I mean, to us, making music is really a treat, and we do that only for the sake of having fun and writing songs. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And honestly, having that attitude towards it makes it, I think, more. We get a lot of sympathy from people. Not like, oh, poor you, but I mean, we got a lot of interest because I think we do it for the good reasons. So I think it plays well for us. And we're also a band that does things that other bands don't do. And I don't know if you've seen this, but I mean, that's one of the beers. We have 2 beers that we've produced. We did guitar necks for drafts that are branded with Mal Fantome. That's one of our strategy to get known to people who don't necessarily listen to our music and go to bars and places that they should. So we're really trying to do things other bands don't do.
No, that's really, really dope.
Have you managed to get any of the beer pumps?
Oh yeah. We there's probably close to a dozen bars who accepted our tab, which is made out of a true guitar neck, and the beer is really is distributed in a few places, probably 6 or 7 right now. But I mean, it's microbrewery, so there's not a lot of beer being produced. We do have a strategy for that for the upcoming months, where we'll have different beers. But I mean, we'll continue on that track because it works well for us.
Good marketing, yeah.
I love the entrepreneurial approach to finding creative ways to promote yourselves. I would love to see that from a lot of artists, like finding those creative ways that like, it would be special to them, right? Something outside of what most artists normally do. And that's
well, I must tell you, it's a lot of fun. I mean, luckily enough, Jack is one of the owners of LG2, which is one of Canada's biggest independent ad agency. They're in Toronto, Montreal, and Quebec. So we got a lot of good ideas coming from him, and I also bring some. And I think that Mark, Jack, and I are doing a lot of things that are just outside of the box, and that's the way we like it. I mean, we're like kids, really. When we do a video, you should see us. We're like teenagers. We spend 2-3 nights in a row to make them, and we're just really happy, and we're just really into it. I have more fun at my age doing music now than I had when I was 18 or 19. That's as simple as that.
Do you think that's because you've got more sort of freedom to express yourself now? You're not as worried about what people think, or? Well,
I don't really care about what, to be frank with you, just having someone, knowing that someone decides to play one of your songs and just listen to it. I mean, to me, that's a pretty good pay, It's not like being on the radio and being imposed. Nowadays, if you want to listen to a band or an artist, you have to do something concrete to listen to them. Otherwise, you just won't discover them. Okay. So to me, it's I don't like bitching about the fact that we don't get a lot of money for what we're doing. I just like the fact that there's people interested that we were not even on their radar before, and now they say, hey, this song is one of my favorite of last year, or something like that. We get that a lot. And I mean, to me, I cannot be more happy. I couldn't be happier than that. That's the best. Really, I'm sure that you probably feel the same about people that you don't know who come up to you and tell you, hey, Wilko, I like this, or I like that. It's or that song touched me in a way. And to me, that's just the incredible power of music, and being part of that is just humbling me, and I'm just really happy I can do it.
I caught that slight flex in there. You said, yeah, we get that a lot. People are always just telling us how much they love our stuff. Just walking down the street, some guy runs up, hey, you're from Mal Fantome. I love your music. I heard it.
No.
Yes, it's me.
No,
we don't get arrested. We don't get stopped in the streets. But I mean, I get emails and I get messages and stuff like that. So that's something really good. I'm sure you get that too, right?
It's cool when like on Thursdays, like people go like they do the Twitter posts and stuff, and somebody will say, hey, my song of the week is like Origin Cross. And I'm like, oh, snap. I don't know who this person is, but hey, I appreciate it. I gotta go see who this person is. So that is dope, because seeing that there's people in there, and I mean, touching on the Water Spotlight, right? There's people in the community like that are coming in newer that maybe you haven't become familiar with, right? And they're listening, right? Otherwise, how would they know what to pick, right? They're listening, and then they're discovering you, and then they make that connection like that, and you discover them, and now you just could have just become one-on-one fans of each other, and that's a dope thing that can happen within a community where people are actually trying to grow and help each other.
Yeah, honestly, I must tell you that being part of NAS is probably the greatest thing that happened to us outside of our own band, being part of that community. I was really suspicious in the beginning, to be frank with you. I didn't know what it was all about. Took some time to check how it worked. And I am, and most of the band, all of the band also has that kind of attitude where we like, getting involved with anything we get involved with. We don't want to just touch and base, and we'd like to be part of something. And soon realized that the little things that you do to help out fellow artists on NAS is not only helping them a big way, but it also helps you out a big way, because it's that whole spirit of community that you, and I mean a true community, there's not a lot of rotten apples that I've seen on NAS over the last 9 to 10 months that we've been on. I mean, most of people are really, really eager to take part of that big thing, and I'm really happy we're part of NAS as well. I mean, our numbers, spiked, and they're still going up. I know it's not, NAS is not the only responsible, but I mean, it's surely a big part of it, and played a big part of it.
Definitely, it should be. Yeah. We talk about that a lot. How it shouldn't be your sole focus. But yeah, you've got loads of listeners, man. I've seen it.
Like 3,000 or something, like over 3,000 monthly listeners.
So you're getting a lot of outside external traction. I think it all helps, doesn't it? Like NAS can feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So one of your tracks that I really love is "Burning."
Yeah.
Tell us about the female singer on there, and also we're going to give it in afterwards as well, aren't we?
Absolutely. "Burning" is it's a song about infatuation, of course. When I first wrote the lyrics for the song, Jack suggested that maybe we could have a girl singing with me, and I liked the idea, but I mean, to me, it was a huge endeavor, because I didn't want just to sing someone else coming and just sing for no purpose. So I rewrote all the lyrics to have another take on the song I had previously written, and the idea was to get Michelle, that girl that we chose, to have that kind of to feel that there's some relationship with both singers in the song. So that, to me, that was a point that I really wanted to explore. And we did the song, and we separated a few lines so it would tell a story. I always try to not to be too specific, but I mean, so anyone can say, "Oh, this, I can feel this is something that I lived or I can relate to." So we asked her, of course, to sing on the song. She accepted. First tracks were good, but I mean, maybe a little too restrained for her taste. And we said, just go out and you're really in part. Just make us believe that you're part of the song. You're part of the story, and that's exactly what she did. And I couldn't pass on the harmonica player who played with Midnight Oil and Elton John. His name is Trent Williamson. And Trent, we basically told him we want somebody who will set the whole song on fire. And he did that incredible solo. He did a few tracks. He sent probably 4 or 5. I mean, that solo that he did, just blew us away. And we thought, okay, we need to keep that intact and as is. So it was really little work for us because the 2 musicians that played, that we invited, did an incredible job. So it was basically just a question of placing them to make sure that the whole thing sounds like a Mal Fantome song. But I mean, still, you can recognize the contribution of those 2.
Do the honors, introduce your own track.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Here's "Burning" by Mal Fantome. Hope you like it.
Strikes against me, and you have the world at your feet. when others getting it easy, and it ain't me. You say there's nothing between us,
just a series of one-night stands.
when you don't wanna sleep alone, and I'm your man. You know I am. I'm burning for you. I'm burning. I'm burning for you. The dark side of Mother Teresa is making you feel like a saint, was giving up on miracles, and then you came.
Still have 2 strikes against you, but I got your name on my list. You may never be Mr. Right. You're Mr. Right now.
You know I am. I'm burning for you. I'm burning. I'm burning for you. You know I am. I'm burning for you.
Burning for you.
I'm burning.
I'm burning.
I'm burning for you. I'm
Okay, yeah, thank you, mate, for playing us that track. And I think it was brilliant, like what you said about how she's put her soul into that song, because it really does work as a story. And when I was listening to it earlier on in the car with my wife, she said it reminded her of sort of Beautiful South. Do you know them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just an amazing tune, man. I love what you're doing. There's so many influences that I hear in your music. Are you a fan of like that sort of like the editors and like indie music kind of? I hear a lot of that in there as well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, Wilko, you say that. I'm a huge fan of editors. Obviously, I love Interpol. My favorite band right now is probably Spoon. I don't know if you know them. They're from Texas. I used to be a huge Prefab Sprout fan. I know it doesn't have anything to do with our music.
Yeah.
Oh, Paddy McAloon is the classiest of all. I mean, it really, he knows how to write the song. So, yeah. So I like music from. I mean, I used to be. I used to love the Streets. You probably know Mike Skinner.
I thought you were talking about like you love like the Streets, like you were about that life. And you're out here like a tough guy. Okay, never mind.
No, I like him. I like him a lot. I mean, I don't know if he does anything these days, but I mean, I used to be a big DJ Shadow fan as well.
DJ Shadow, yeah.
So, yeah, so I mean, I think we try to take to bring influences from all around the music scene. I mean, there's not, my dad used to play jazz used to play trombone in a jazz band to pay for his tuition. He's a lawyer. I mean, he doesn't practice anymore, but that's how he managed to pay for his studies. And music has always been part of my environment up till when I was really, really young. Ennio Morricone is probably one of my great favorite composers. Don't know if you know him, but Ennio Morricone. He just died last year. Actually, he's responsible for film music mainly. Amazing guy, really. But I mean, yeah, I like music from every genre. So I tried to pay attention.
And so, inviting artists in and working. So one thing I wanted to touch back on, though, when we're talking about your process, you're kind of going through how everything comes together. Your final mixes and masters, right? Are those done by you guys as well? After you guys record in the studio?
Well, we work with a guy, an old friend who used to be in my band when I was much younger, called Mathieu Dandurand. He's now a recording engineer. He has won a lot of prizes, so we work with him just because he gets us. So for mixes, that's basically him. We assist on the mixes, but I mean, that's basically Mathieu. And we work with a guy called Ryan Mooney for the mastering. Ryan works with basically everyone in Canada and outside of Canada, mainly indie rock bands and indie bands. So he mastered things by Arcade Fire and stuff bands like that. So we feel in total comfort with him. When you send him something, he always come up with an incredible job, and we're always happy with it. Doesn't charge too much either, so that helps.
And you just touched on, you said you're totally comfortable with that, and again, inviting people in and trusting people to help you create something, and then like add their own artistic touch to it. I think is a thing that sometimes can be uncomfortable. And while we're on the subject of things that sometimes can be uncomfortable, I think it's time. Again, time for something very much uncomfortable, very much dreadful, very much ominous. You may have heard of it before. It seems to happen every week. We just can't escape it, but it's really just dark cloud that kind of looms over this podcast. Do you know what I'm talking about? You have an idea?
I do. Come on.
I think it's the infamous, the devilish, dastardly, as Origin has said, very
volatile,
brutal, Quickfire 5. So do you know the rules? Do you know what you need to do?
I know what I need to do. I'll answer the best I can.
You know how many seconds you've got?
Well, shoot over.
But no more than 15 seconds to answer each question, otherwise you will be banned from. You'll be sent to a remote island with no resources to live out the rest of your days.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that well then.
All right. I'm going to start you off. Question number 1. Easy. What is your favorite song on the Artist Spotlight playlist right now?
Favorite song right now. I must say I'm really into Eleanor Collides right now. Honestly, anything that he released in the last year is on my. I cannot choose one, but one of his songs is surely there.
Question 2: if you were to go see any artists from New Artist Spotlight playlists live, who would you like to go and see live?
Probably JHM. Honestly, I surprise myself of humming his songs whenever I hear them. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I would have a good time.
Question 3: what is your definition of a successful life?
A definition of a successful life is just to be proud of who and who you are and what you've done, and having no regrets. I mean, you always have regrets, but the less is the better. So, success for me is not money; it's being happy and content on what you did.
Wow, that was in 15 seconds.
Yeah, might have been banned there.
A little over on that one.
Question 4: if you could collab with any musician, dead or alive, who would you collab with?
Dead or alive? Man. David Bowie, sure. Probably. Joseph Arthur. I really like Joseph Arthur. He's pretty cool too. Yeah.
Question 5: what is the cheesiest song that you love?
Cheesiest song that I love? Probably a Bee Gees song. It's one of their brother, Shadow Dancing from Andy Gibb. That's probably one of the cheesiest song I like.
That's classmate. Love that. Andy Gibb, what a legend. And I like that you said Bowie as well, because I think you sound a little bit like Bowie at times in this new EP, so you can hear the influence coming through.
Well, it's funny, I get that a lot, but to be frank with you, I love Bowie for the same reasons I love Beck, or I love Joe Jackson for that instance. To me, these artists are Elvis Costello. They're guys who can change from one album to the other, who can recreate. I've seen Beck with a huge band, and I've seen him playing only with his guitar. And I've enjoyed both shows as much. Each of them were fantastic. I just like the fact that a musician is not how can I say,
in a box.
Yeah, in a box. Yeah, I would hate myself being in a band like AC/DC. I love AC/DC, but what's the difference between the Highway to Hell and Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap? It's basically the same chords all the time, and they did really well. But I prefer artists who can reinvent themselves all the time. I really appreciate that, and I admire that.
I think artistic expression is literally kind of the whole purpose of what we do.
I'll take for example Charles Connolly. He does a lot of different songs. He's part of NAS and does a lot of different kind of music. You can have something that sounds like a truly pop song, and another one would sound quite different from the other. So I like that. I think that shows a lot of depth in the way that they create, and I admire that.
I think back in the day, before Zoom started giving us these restrictions, I think this would be a call that might go on into a second, maybe even third session, because it's been really great talking to you and getting to know you, and I'd love to talk to you more about strategy. Is one thing that you've mentioned a lot, and it seems like you guys are really implementing strategies around a lot of the things you guys do, including even like social media with this Instagram page with all the like photos and things like that. So definitely something that I wanted to touch on with you, but just with the time that we have right now, I do want to give you the chance to give any final thoughts that you want to leave the audience with, any new listener, anybody who's just discovering you, anything that you want to say.
Well, if you're an artist and you're not part of NAS, I invite you to join. If you are part of NAS, well, just make the best of it and just put your heart in it, and you'll get a lot back. And honestly, I love everybody that takes the time to in that group that takes the time to get involved and put their heart into it. I have a strong admiration for them, and they can always count on us to help them whenever we can. And if anybody wants tricks on how we do things, drop us a line. We'll be more than pleased to exchange with you.
I mentioned your Instagram, but we want to give you a chance to also shout out your social media where everybody can connect you, find your music, all that too.
Best place is probably going to our main website, malphantom.com. We're active on basically every social media out there except TikTok. I'm sorry, I'm an old dude. I don't understand how TikTok can help us. But if you have a suggestion, or if somebody can explain it to me, I'll be paying attention, and maybe there's something we can do with it.
And maybe you can make videos with your music playing, but promoting your beer. And catch their attention with the beer, but the music is,
The thing is, Origin, that I see my 14-year-old daughter making videos with her friends, and I'm still scratching my head about what it's all about. So I guess I'm a more classic guy or conservative in that type of. I like telling stories with videos that we make, and if it can work with TikTok, great. But I mean, we have other means of being watched, and I think so far it's doing the job.
I think there's an opportunity there for musicians, but I think it's a little bit more memey. I think I don't know. It's like sort of silly videos and things that are catching away, or like comedy skits or stuff like that. I think maybe, but I don't know. With a musician, it's an interesting one. Like a lot of the musicians that I've seen who have made it big on TikTok, it is a little bit sort of pre-rehearsed stuff. Like it's someone going up to a homeless person and saying, "You look really sad. Here's my song."
Yeah,
played on the song, and it gets like millions of likes, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is so sweet," and like all that kind of like stage.
Yeah, well, if you've seen one of our videos, you probably noticed that the way we work is that we buy a whole bunch of scenes from different filmmakers, and from there we try to tell a story. So we spend a lot of time trying to find something that will go with the song, but not necessarily explain what the song is about. We like David Lynch a lot. David Lynch doesn't explain anything, just present things to you, and you make something out of it. That's the way we kind of try to work with videos as well. So we're not really funny guys. We're fun guys, of course, but I mean, our idea is not to make funny videos or things like that. Where I think our music is probably more for people who have lived a little, something like 30 years old and over, and that's what the stats are telling us anyways. I compare ourselves sometimes to a band I really like called The National, that you probably heard of. They don't do music for kids, they do music for young adults and adults, and I think that the kind of music we're making is much more targeted toward that audience. I mean, we're not doing music for an audience per se, but I mean, the people that come up to the shows and listen to us are usually older guys. It's something like 30 years old and up, and mainly guys. Really, I mean, it's probably 30% female. A lot, 70% guys. I don't know why. I wish it would be the other way around if I were a single, but I guess it's okay like that. Yeah.
I mean, you got to know everybody has a demographic, right? Everybody's not gonna. The same music that's gonna appeal to a 40-year-old is not gonna appeal to a 15-year-old. It's not supposed to, right? Not to say one artist couldn't have something that appeals to either, but again, it's not necessarily about being boxed in, but kind of like you mentioned on a couple of things, strategy, right? Who would like the music that I'm making, and how do I get it to them?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there's a kid, probably 15 years old, but I suspect he has an eye on my daughter. But he says that our music is cool. But I mean, other than that, I don't know many people under 20
You've got his
But I
card
assume
back as well.
he probably has something else in mind. You know, he tries to play the violin and be sweet to me. So I don't know, but I mean, that's what I suspect.
Yeah, he either wants to be in the band or in the family.
Oh, I think I couldn't care less about the band. I think he's more interested in my daughter.
And do you give
She's good looking, so.
Do you give him permission on? Can we have a NAS exclusive here? Is he allowed to make his approach, or he's still figuring that out?
Well, 14 years old is for a kid is still, you know, they're discovering stuff. So as a parent, it's you know, I remember being that age. I remember the hormones and all this stuff. So I assume being a guy is way different than being a girl at that age, and I'm not sure that I understand totally what's that thing. So I cross my fingers and hope that I was a good dad saying the good things, and I hope I'm not too intimidating to this kid. You know, I just try to be good. That's all.
That's awesome, man. I love that you answered that. Do you want that in the podcast, or do you want us to cut that out?
Oh, you do what you want. I mean, you know, I don't have a problem. I laugh at myself all the time, and you know, I try to be genuine with the people I'm speaking with. I like that you guys, you know, you're both of you are pretty laid back, and I think that we have a genuine conversation, and that's, to me, that's the most important thing. I mean, I wouldn't want it to be something framed or, you know, enacted or something like that. I feel that, you know, we're talking to each other in a genuine way, and that's the way I like having conversations with people in life. And so I stand by who I am, and with all the good and the bad things that I am. So that's my life, you know. So, and I'm really a proud father. So that's I take it as something good.
I'll be honest. As a dad of a 1-year-old boy,
good.
Daughters scare me, especially when we start. When you say, like, I remember how I was at 14. I was sitting there thinking, like, oh crap, I remember how I was at 14 too. Which for me right now, I was like, who cares? I mean, I have a son, so I assume he's gonna be like me. But I'm like, if I had a daughter, and I'm like, me at 14, no.
Yeah, we have a saying in Quebec. We probably say that in London or anywhere else in the world, but we say when you have a boy, you only have to take care about one penis. When you have a daughter, you take care of hundreds of penises.
I've never heard it before, but I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? Because you're up there, you're just like a fly swatter. No, get away.
Yeah. No, yeah. You see, and my kid is a basketball player. She plays in the elite level, so she's got there's a lot of people turning around her. She's about my height as well. So yeah, and her mom is really good looking. So luckily, she takes after her. So that helps.
Another slight flex in there. You know, her mom's really good looking. You know, just I am who I am, but my wife though, her mom's gorgeous. So you know, I you know, just her mom's gorgeous. Just want to throw that out there. That's the kind of guy I am. I have children with beautiful women. I'm a rock star. People approach me on the street. Yeah, they love my music. It's really good to be you. Apparently, it's really good to be. You're an inspiration to us. This is the lifestyle that we want to live.
Yeah. Aspirational. Love it.
You have kids, Wilko?
No, I haven't. No. Maybe one day.
I think I've scared them away from it.
Okay.
At the moment, it's just just me and the music. No, I've got a wife.
But he's married to the music.
But I'm married to the music. Yeah.
I see. That's good.
Don't have time for kids. How am I going to get my next singles finished?
Hey,
I like that.
This has been a really good episode. It's been really fun talking to you guys. Thank you for your time, being gracious with and finishing this out with us. And anything you want to say before we wrap up this episode?
Thank you, guys. I truly appreciate that. I had a good time, and I'm looking forward to talk to you again. Maybe not during a podcast, but I mean, I really had a blast talking to you two, and looking forward to do it again. Have a good one.
Thank you. All the people that watch every week and support us and keep us on radio. Everybody who's promoting and just supporting us. We want to send a big thank you out to you. Catch us back here next week, and peace out.
Yeah. Peace out.
New Artist Spotlight Podcast.